Welcome to Xbox Corner, my name is Alex and today we're going to be taking a look at Spacelines from the far out on Xbox and specifically the optimized for Series X build. This one, it's a co-op multitasking management game. You'll basically be asked to run a spaceline and pander to the needs of your passengers. This one then, it was written by Luke, recorded by me, and it's going to be for fans of experiences like Overcooked, but think here with a dash of FTL and even roguelike for good measure. With that though, like, hit subscribe, but join us here on Xbox Corner for reviews, deals and Game Pass breakdowns weekly, and let's get started. Today's video then, first impressions, and from what we've seen, and not a huge amount of story. It's basically a tutorial that introduces you as the newest employee for this space line. You will not only be captain though, but crew, entertainment, maintenance and navigation. You'll even be purchasing your own ship. Outside of a robotic target dummy though who delivers the tutorial, there's really no one else to talk to, and that's a shame. Look, sure, it makes sense given the genre, get to the action quick, but I still see opportunity. A little world building would have gone a long way, or maybe alien breakdowns, that could have been another source of humour. Gameplay then should be familiar to anyone who has stepped foot into the genre before. Work together, or alone in fact, to ensure that all goes smoothly, but unlike most such as Overcooked that focuses on just one core thing, this is bringing together a number of unique activities that you must manage. It even supports them both online and offline play as well. A quick note then, actually, with online, you can't just jump into a random game or host an open lobby. Instead, they've used a room code system. You'll even need to know the server region your friend is in as well. Not entirely sure why the developers opted for this kind of system, especially given the fact this one is crossplay as well. All it's going to result in is it's going to impact your ability to find online games. I would have preferred it to have the distinction between open or private instead of focusing purely on the latter. Back into the gameplay though, and the experience is really closed off then with the roguelike spin. You'll be completing runs through what is a randomly generated star map to reach an end goal, where you get to choose from branching pathways. Think easier, shorter journeys with less danger, or of course the longer with more obstacles, more passengers, and of course more issues. This though is going to be, of course, then mirrored in the reward you receive, so there's going to be a level of risk involved in how you decide to play. Once you've chosen your ship and direction though, it's off to work you go, and as I said, there's quite a few mechanics packed in here. I wouldn't call it difficult, it's just probably a little more complex than many of its peers. Here as well, I'd say it's less about working together and more about working alongside each other, dividing up that work and then assisting each other directly. To start though, your ship is comprised of individual components all connected to a power source. The issue, you have limited power, so you can't power everything all at once. You need to redirect the flow as and when needed. The most important systems for power this far, that's going to be the gravity generator, the control system to steer, the engines, your radar which identifies destinations and obstacles. That's before we even get to the customers and a few other pieces. That's when you start to get into things like the entertainment systems, the cookers, the repair kits for when things go wrong, to name just a few. The list of responsibilities then, it goes on. You'll even be managing fuel and hull integrity, something you want to keep a close eye on unless you fancy going boom or drifting off into space. If either of these things occur, it's going to be game over and back to the beginning. The carryover, that is going to be your cash, but only if you stopped off at an ATM on your route and kind of banked it into your accounts. This cash though, it's earned from paying customers dependent on their experience, such as journey length or how you handled their needs. In turn though, spend this cash then on fuel, repairs, ship upgrades and even new facilities and features. Handling these customers though, from what we've experienced, it revolves around 3 main needs. That's hunger, so get cooking; entertainment, so have systems in place or dance for them with what is a rhythm-based minigame; and finally bathroom breaks. If you lack these facilities, expect to be pulling over at floating stores. Failure to keep passengers happy as well, it can make or break a run, as it will not only result in negative stars, but also a reduced cash bonus. In fact, really annoy them, they'll start messing with the systems on board, and no one wants a customer that turns off the gravity. The message here basically is, happy passengers, happy life. One last point to note as well, then in solo mode, passenger images, they are displayed across the bottom of the screen. It means you can track their needs easily. In co-op, this disappears. You'll need to actually stand close to them to find out what is going on, to find out that same information. Makes a huge difference when you have a packed out ship and, all plays kind of into the urgency and the responsibilities of your crew. Get running around, make sure everyone is looked after. Me and Luke then, we did manage to get a couple of hours in with the game, and honestly we are a little unsure at the moment. That mainly though stems from the experience this far online and not the actual gameplay itself. The mechanics, they all work really well. It's clear a ton of thought went into them, and it's definitely manic while feeling fair. The issue though, we've been facing connectivity and latency. We both have high-speed internet, but it could also be we have Luke in the UK and myself in the US. To start though, Luke hosted a game, and from my side, at points it was lagging so much, customers and Luke, they were actually outside the spaceship at moments, and I could barely interact with anything. Even with me hosting, it did improve things, but there was still noticeable delays in interactions and input, whether that was with the customers or the systems. Steering for both of us was particularly challenging as it stuttered. We even tried a number of times over a couple of days. It is a game though that's intended to often be frustrating by design, but latency, it adds a whole new dimension to that, which can take something from funny to infuriating pretty quickly. I think right now with this one, the best guaranteed experience will be local co-op, no question. The systems in here, as I said, they are solid, and naturally it's day one on Game Pass 2, so if that's still available at time of you watching this, try it there first, see how it handles for you and your friends. Given our inability to test this same country though, or even with others down to the room code system, we've decided to present today's video as non-rated over a score and more think impression based. As it stands though, it feels like it's got the potential to be a great addition to the genre, an easy recommendation in fact gameplay wise if playing in local, but you may find a few issues with servers or even the fact it lacks any real matchmaking. I hope the issues we experienced were exclusive to us regarding latency, because for many that could make or break this one, and it's clear the passion that did go in. So visually things are kept pretty simple, but I like the cartoon-like approach they have gone for with this one. Adds plenty of charm to the game, and I especially enjoyed this 60s sci-fi aesthetic that you'll see amongst the ships and facilities. The game's aliens look great as well, with each species having a variety of colours and features, allowing you to easily distinguish between them during flights. Then, while the appearance of your cabin crew members it's pretty limited, there's still enough variety to cater for the 4 players, alongside a wealth of cosmetics to unlock as well. Lastly, on the point of performance, I didn't notice any frame rate issues while playing the game on the Series X, though this was of course a little hard to tell due to the latency issues. In solo though, I will say this, it ran flawlessly. So the audio in the game is pretty decent. I'd say it was actually definitely one of the highlights for me. Sound effects wise, nothing too special going on, and things are a little minimalistic with a few, beeps from the ship, alien-like noises from the passengers, but it's the game's music that has some great jazz and swing tracks. They dynamically change depending on the situation you find yourself in as well. Terminals, for instance, feature a calming elevator type music, while the music's tempo really starts to pick up when things start going awry. Catchy, constantly evolving music though, that is always going to be a winner. So our first impression is this: Spacelines from the Far Out has a ton of potential, and the combination of ship management, passenger management and roguelike, it works really well. It adds a new sense of replayability and that addictive, just kind of one more go vibe. We had connectivity issues no matter the time of day for us, but there's so many variables in there that it's going to be hard to really pinpoint exactly why. For us at this point, wait to hear on others' experiences if online will be the only way to play, but if you're playing solo, which is extremely challenging by the way, or local play is open to you, this is an easy one to recommend, and it's great to see a release trying something just a little different and it absolutely paying off. Will you be checking this one out then? Let us know in the comments down below. With that then, hit subscribe, join us here on Xbox Corner for reviews, deals and Game Pass breakdowns weekly, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.